Welcome back to DQP Does, the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network movie review show, where we try to figure out what movie Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando were in together. What movie was that? Dave, do you know what movie that was?
I don't.
Russell, do you know what movie that was?
Dr. Moreau's Island.
The Island of Dr. Moreau?
No, the sequel of Dr. Moreau's Island.
No, that was Val Kilmer and like some people in pre-Cats Sans asshole costumes.
Should have been Jack Nicholson.
It was some Western, actually, wasn't it? Like Missouri.
It's called
something.
the Missouri Breaks.
The Missouri Breaks. With me this evening is my co-host, Russell.
Hi.
And Dave.
Hi, what's your name and occupation?
I'm Shane, and I'm the host of this show. Today we're going over... Today we're going over our last M. Night Shyamalan movie. Just came out in theaters a couple weeks ago. It is called Old. Obviously, 2021 is PG-13. It's an hour and 48 minutes. On to the plot. Some people go to a beach resort, and then they get shown to a private beach where they all get old in a day. And some people die. Some weird shit happens, and they can't get away. And then it turns out that it's a big pharma, like, testing ground because for some reason...
Fucking big pharma, man.
To do with the rocks surrounding the beach and, like, magnetism beneath it and the minerals in the rocks, it causes your cells to age like hyper rapidly. So they like test medications in a day there instead of over the course of years. And then one of the families, like everyone dies except for these two kids that started off as 6 and 11. Right?
I think that was the age, yeah.
I think that was their ages. What were their names? What were the kids' names? Maddox and what was the boy's name?
Trent.
Maddox and Trent. They make it out and they spoil the whole thing. They go back and they're like, the little boy was going around and asking people what their names and occupations were, and he found a cop, and the cop was still there because they were only gone for like a fucking day.
Right.
And so they come back and the cop's still there on vacation, and he like somebody had taken down the names and addresses of all these people that were there when he was there, and they like there's just like a scattering of like random things that people have left behind, and they found this guy's book. This is a notebook. It was a kid, and as he grew older, he figured out what was going on, and he wrote down everyone's name and address of the group of people that had come with him. So they give this to the cop, and the cop like calls about it because he's like, what the fuck? And finds out that all these people are missing. So then they start arresting people, and they do like a raid basically on this big pharma testing ground in some island in the Caribbean.
And like the same day.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought, the most unrealistic thing about the movie.
Everything about this movie was unrealistic down to the way people talk to each other.
Yes. Amen. I'm really upset we're never going to get that mid-size sedan EP.
Oh my God. I don't really know anyone that was in this movie. I'm just going to list like a few of them. You've got Gail Garcia Bernal as Guy, Vicky Cripps, Vicky, as Priska, Rufus Sewell as Charles. Like, I know him.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Wolff was age 15 Trent. Thomason McKenzie was age 16 Maddox. Abby Lee was Crystal. Nikki Amuka Bird was Patricia. Ken Leung was Jaren. I know him from some stuff. I mean, most of these people I've never seen them before. Eliza Scanlon was Kara, age 15. Aaron Pierre was mid-sized sedan.
still upset we're not going to get that EP from him.
Oh fuck. Embeth Davids was adult Maddox, and Eamon Elliott was adult Trent. Well, there's more, but
M. Night Shyamalan was in it.
M. Night Shyamalan was in it for a minute.
He wore a lot of purple.
Yeah, so like
He should wear purple.
He looks good in purple.
Yeah.
It's his color.
So I don't know, man. Like this movie was whack. Like
I mean, I liked the concept of it.
the idea
It was cool.
awesome.
But like for me, like at least the first part of the movie, the acting just seemed really stilted to me.
Oh, yeah.
And like really it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
It felt like improv where everyone's saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The only part that I felt like was well acted was some of the more emotional scenes, which is weird because like the parts where people are just acting normally, they're like being weird.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when they're like, oh my God, this hugely emotional part where my character is getting all this stuff off my chest to someone and I'm like having a hard time doing it and like crying and shit, like was acted okay. Like none of it was good. Like, or great, I guess.
Right.
Some of it was okay to good. But it was like all the stuff where they were just trying to be normal people. It was like we were watching the aliens from Signs try to fucking act in a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like what aliens think people are.
Yeah. And all they watch is like fucking dramas. So they're just like, we can cry, but that's it. That's
And
all we can
yell.
do.
And yell.
The longest yawn.
Wow.
That's what Russell thinks about this movie.
I thought
longest
there
yawn.
were two.
Done. Show
I
over.
thought there were two great scenes that were very well acted.
Yeah. Let's see if
the-
you agree with me on this.
The scene where the primary mother and father of Trent and Maddox are
Guy and Priska.
Guy and Priska, where they're sitting on the beach and they've come to terms with they're gonna die on this beach, and they're just sitting there and enjoying the moment.
Yes.
And I thought that scene was fantastic. I thought they both did a great job.
One of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah, one
I
of the
agree.
best scenes in the movie. And then the parallel scene to that
Mhm.
after they've died, where the kids aren't kids anymore.
Yeah, they're like 35 or 40 or something.
50.
50. Well,
They're
by the
50.
time they leave, they're 50.
Well, yeah, that's true. Where they're sitting on the beach
Mm.
and he asks her if they should even try. He's like, Trent says, I mean, should we even try to leave?
Yeah, should we keep trying to leave?
Yeah, should we keep trying to leave? And then they like sit there and there's a little bit more dialogue and they just kind of sit there. And those two scenes were my favorite two scenes out of the whole movie.
Oh, but you skipped over how that scene ends, where they're just sitting there. Because then she's like, or one of them is like, "Do you want to make a sandcastle first?"
Oh, yeah.
And then they have a wonderful conversation about like, do you think everyone is still a kid inside a little bit,
Yeah.
or is it just because we were kids yesterday?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's like that part, those two parts were probably the best parts of the movie. There's also another one where Maddox is, I think it's the 16-year-old version of Maddox, where right before she finds Jaren's body in the water, I think it's right after Midsize Sedan dies.
Rest in
God
peace.
damn it.
Rest in peace.
Like, that name just makes me not take any of the rest of the fucking movie seriously. I'm trying to talk about an emotional scene, and the reason she's emotional is because Midsize Sedan just died.
Rest in peace.
What the fuck? Fuck you, M. Night. What in the fuck?
I think that's amazing.
I loved it.
I hate it so much. Anyway, she's like having this emotional moment by herself, basically. And then she goes to like swim to like try to get away by herself because she's like having a fucking nervous breakdown, and she runs into Jaren's body. But the whole part before that I thought was wonderfully acted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for a kid. Like, how old is she? I don't think if she's over 16, I don't think she's much older than that. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. She's 21, but still young.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's
You
a
guys-
good scene too.
Since you guys are talking about the best acting parts, can I talk about the most
Fucking A,
ridiculous
dude.
acting
Go
parts?
for it.
Yeah.
Like the part where Trent and the one girl have a baby.
Kara. Well, I
Oh
mean,
my
that's
God, dude.
like awful acting, like awful writing,
Yeah.
like awkward directing. Like that whole part was just like,
It was so weird.
what in the fuck is happening?
Because it's supposed to be like real, this like, heavily drama tension part.
Yeah.
And the boys just cry like, we're never going to get divorced. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not feel that scene at all. I
Leading up to the pregnancy, the whole thing only lasting like 15 minutes.
the accuracy of what would happen in that situation, I agree with as far as the writing goes. But I feel like it was treated more of a joke than it should have been, and then the emotional impact that it would have wasn't really. Granted, the characters don't really have time. Like, they don't have time to reconcile anything. So, like, I get it.
yeah, but they deal with the deaths of like 10 characters in the course of 24 hours.
Yeah, a lot of
So like
shit goes
14
on.
hours really, because like they go from, or well, it's about 24 hours, but only for the kids.
Yeah.
Only for Trent and Maddox. Like everyone else is dead before like sundown, except for their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm torn, I guess, because like I feel like the reality of it was done well, because if you have two kids that become 16 years old out of nowhere and they're not related, and you leave them alone. I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
that's probably what's going to happen.
No, I don't disagree with like the thing happening, but like the way it was done is like an interesting idea with the worst possible execution. Not worst possible,
Yeah.
but pretty fucking close.
Bad execution. Yeah.
It made it
'Cause-
into a major release in an actual theater in a movie, so they made some kind of success.
Yeah,
But-
my biggest problem with this movie is how long it took any character to realize what was happening. Not the science behind it.
Yeah,
Like, okay, like this thing that is happening in front of you is unbelievable, so we like explain the science in a way that would work. I don't care how long you take to get to that part, but it would not take anybody. I mean, some people, yes, but there you have a vast majority of characters and nobody realizes what the fuck is going on until the kids are like fucking 20.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
they just keep saying something's happening to our kids, something's happening to our kids. And
yeah.
then
It's a
they're like,
virus.
yeah,
They're just like their minds are so blown.
yeah,
Like that, and like I sort of understand that up to a point, but when your 6-year-old turns into a 16-year-old, like there's no virus that does that.
Right.
yeah.
You're
Like,
clearly in some kind of weird metaphysical thing that's happening. Like
Yeah.
people are walking down a ravine that you previously walked through a little while ago, and they're blacking out and just like coming back out, punching themselves in the face. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not understand what the fuck's happening?
It took too long. Like, and even if you're trying to portray the realism of how long it takes people to catch on to stuff, okay, but like I'm here to be entertained and watch a movie, not listen to people argue for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, all they did was scream at each other after they got to the beach for like ever, and till they all died.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it was.
Yep. Pretty much.
It was like bad, and then it wasn't even interesting.
yeah.
Like, and the acting was bad, and the direct. Like, let's talk about like how to make a beach an interesting setting for a thriller. Well, it's not spinning in a circle.
There was a lot of spinning in a circle.
Holy fuck, man! What are you doing? This. There was a lot of dumb shit that happened in this movie, and
Yeah.
I didn't really care for 99% of it.
It's not. I like the idea. I like the premise of the movie, but like I did not enjoy the execution.
It did kind of fall pretty flat.
Yeah,
in spots.
all of the arguing, all of the inter-party arguing amongst the characters, like really took me out of it because it's just too consistent. Like there's no breaks. It's just literally them running from one end of the beach to the other with a new thing going on, and screaming about it.
It's like, oh my God, so-and-so died. Oh my God, so-and-so's dying. Oh
Yeah.
my God, my kids are 16 now. Oh my God, one of them's pregnant. Oh my God, the baby's dead. Oh my God, so-and-so else is dead. Literally, for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. The most upsetting part, besides Mid-Side Sedan, rest in peace, is the dog died.
Yeah, and they spent like a whole 10 seconds on that.
Yeah. I want to know more about that dog. I don't care about the people. I know about the dog.
Also, the way the baby died was stupid, and I know that that's a real thing that can happen, but and I get it.
Oh,
But
the sudden infant death syndrome, whatever it's called.
It died from lack of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
'Cause
it's
it had-
through its life at an
Yeah.
unprecedented rate.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't
You don't like this movie.
get it. Like, I don't get why he did it like this. Also, I have the opposite problem with this movie than I have with a lot of movies. The dialogue was like the sound engineering. The dialogue was too much louder than
Everything
the music
else.
and the sound effects, which also made the arguing more annoying.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, it wasn't like the sound design was bad. It was just, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I also imagine that like filming it was hard because like all these waves are constantly crashing, so all the
Right.
characters probably felt like, all the actors probably felt like they needed to scream every line. And I tried to take that into consideration, but there's plenty of movies shot on a beach
Yeah, and it's not a fucking problem.
where it doesn't matter. Like the movie The Beach. Which is, I'm sure, what he would have called this had that already been a movie.
Yeah. What was that movie
Yeah.
with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando?
Let's worry about this surgery first, and then
Okay, all right. Yeah, but what was that movie with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando?
Missouri Breaks.
Ah, okay.
Also, Rufus was wasted on a shitty character. Did he have Alzheimer's? I don't even know. Didn't
They
even-
said he
said-
had.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I said at the end they said like their schizophrenia. He had like schizophrenia, but to me it seemed a lot more like he had like dementia or
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Well, I mean, you can get dementia from Alzheimer's,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Weird.
because they kind of mentioned the people's issues after they've all died. It's like, yeah, the schizophrenic. It's like I didn't get that.
right.
Yeah, they could have explored the issues a little more with the characters. I think
Because like the characters figured out that they were all sick because they were like, well, we all have a problem, and then they started talking, and then it was like, wait, we all have like a sickness or an illness,
yeah,
and like Rufus Sewell's character like didn't want to talk about it because I mean he probably knows that he has a problem, and like when he started to like lose it, his wife knew what was going
Yeah.
on. She was like, oh no.
yeah.
The calcium witch.
Yeah, what the
Um,
fuck?
That I did not a good I did not like because it made me feel achy.
Horrible.
Is the scene where she's like crawling through the caves and she starts breaking all of her bones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she has like osteoporosis or
Yeah.
something.
To me, she looked like she was turned into this creepy witch lady. I was like, she's the calcium witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Which, like, I thought her character and like the way things progressed with her character made a lot of sense because, like,
Was the best character the vapid, like, trophy wife?
yes,
What the fuck?
Weird.
Right.
I think it
Damn.
was actually the best character.
It wasn't mid-sized sedan.
No, he died too. There
we
wasn't
didn't get to know
We
him.
didn't have enough to happen with mid-sized Dan. You know, the guy, the black guy with hulking muscles that got stabbed to death by a 2-inch buck knife.
Yeah.
Not his throat slit, stabbed to death.
Rest
On
in
a beach
peace.
where you heal instantly because your cells are aging rapidly and regenerating and stuff.
Yeah.
This totally made sense in any way whatsoever.
Something tells me you don't think that.
No, I don't know where you would get that from. Literally biceps as big as like everyone else on that beach's thigh.
Yeah.
But no, you got stabbed to death with a 2-inch buck knife. This movie. Do you have a trivia corner?
I do.
Do you have like I'm done with this movie.
Are you really?
I'm fucking
Yeah,
done
there's
with
not
it.
really a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I do have one thing to say.
Okay.
I guess.
I guess if we're gonna drag it out of you.
There's a whole thing that they could have explored with is what's good for the individual better for the group, or what's better for the group better for the individual. But it's very clear to me that M. Night feels one particular way.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel. I do think if it's good for the individual, ultimately it will be good for the group. And the movie's very biased in showing you that what's good for the group is not good for the individual. Because they all die except for the kids.
Yeah. So like they kind of like half-ass phrase it that way, but like even if you were doing a good for the group idea, you wouldn't just like without telling people put them on a beach that makes them age 50 years in 24 hours. Like, that's just not a thing that would happen. It would be like, do you want to do this? You have this crazy disease that's going to kill you anyway. Do you want to take this experimental medication and maybe die in the next 2 hours?
Yeah, I feel like the research would have been like they could have found volunteers. There would have been people out there willing to do that instead. Just like, and trust
study
me,
the thing.
I believe Big Pharma is the enemy. I do. But ultimately, this movie is just another way for it. It's like The Happening. It's a social justice issue. I guess not social justice, but it's like it's an issue. It's a
hot button issue.
It's a hot button issue that he's bringing up and showing you how bad it could get in one of the most unrealistic ways. Do I think Big Pharma would do that if they found something like that? Yes, I do. But there's just I don't know. There's a lot of potential with this story. It's based on a graphic novel, so.
Well,
damn it! Yes,
who wrote it then?
I don't remember. Was that in your trivia?
Is that in your trivia?
Yeah.
Okay. well, that person.
Let's go to the trivia.
Well, let's go to the trivia corner.
Are we going to the trivia corner?
Yeah. Let me put
do
on my wading boots.
I got new socks for the trivia corner.
Good. It gets pretty sticky and wet in the corner.
I call them my trivia socks. They're waterproof.
Welcome to Dave's Trivia Corner, where the point of this corner is for you to say, "Huh, neat." Dave's Trivia Corner.
Dave's Trivia Corner.
Corner. I like all that we're doing. The film is an adaptation of a 2010 graphic novel by writer Pierre Oscar Levy and artist Frederick Peters called Sandcastle.
Well, we're not judging Sandcastle. We're judging this movie. Maybe Sandcastle like takes the concept and does it like not incredibly poorly.
When asked what inspired him to adapt the book to film, director M. Night Shyamalan explained, "The book gave me the opportunity to work through a lot of anxieties I had around death and aging and things like my parents getting older."
Well, I'm glad he worked through those things. I just rather he had done it in private.
And not made a movie. Filmed in 2020 during the height of the global coronavirus pandemic. Did you hear about that?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Cast and crew had to be tested daily for potential infections. M. Night Shyamalan said of the production, the main priority was to keep everyone safe and well. Despite all of us living and working together for a period of months, nobody became sick, which was fantastic.
That's good.
It's wonderful. Probably because they were all secluded on a beach.
Yeah. This is the first M. Night Shyamalan film to be shot on 35 millimeters film stock since The Last Airbender. All his projects since have been shot digitally.
This is also his second adaptation. Only his second adaptation. The first being The Last Airbender.
Yes.
He seems to be real good at those.
Yeah. And yes, if you're wondering, I did remember he did The Last Airbender, and I do think The Last Airbender is better than The Village. It's his third worst movie.
Damn. You really hate The Village.
Third worst?
Yeah. The Last Airbender.
So this is second worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the second worst?
Yeah.
Old?
Yeah. I like
don't know.
most of his movies.
I really
Spoiler
Except
alert.
for these three, I guess.
got some more.
Yeah, go for it, bud.
Ken Luong Jaren
Yeah.
previously acted in the show Lost, which was also about a mysterious island.
Mm-hmm.
Also not good.
M. Night Shyamalan was inspired by Australian new wave films like Picnic and Hanging Rock for the freeze tag game that the kids play on the beach. The idea of kids freezing in time was meant to compare with the kids rapidly aging later in the movie.
Yeah.
That was a
whack.
good and creepy scene until I figured out what was going on, where the kid's just like frozen. Or Trent's
Yeah.
like frozen, and it just like cuts to him, and the other two are running around in the background. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, they're playing freeze tag.
Yeah.
He's just really good at it.
He's real good at freeze tag. I got one more.
Okay.
M. Night said the subject matter of the film, in which a group of people find themselves trapped in an isolated beach dealing with a deadly phenomenon, mirrored the experience of being in lockdown and the uncertainty of the coronavirus pandemic, adding, "It was strange. We were making a film that had nothing to do with the pandemic, but at the same time, it was absolutely about this fear and uncertainty we were all feeling. This fear of infection. It made us think very deeply about death, about survival, and about being in lockdown. The idea of being stuck in a situation and not being able to leave." Which I can see that.
Okay.
What?
I saw no correlation between this movie and the pandemic.
I don't really either, but what he says.
Yeah, I mean, I could see, like, in them making it, they could, like, feel that. But, like,
Yeah.
the actual movie itself, no.
But this has been Dave's Trivia Corner. Dave's Trivia Corner.
Doing Dave's trivia. I tried to join.
That's neat. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there with this
man.
corner.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, are you guys ready to rate this? We're going to have, what is this, like a 15-minute episode?
It's 28.
Wow.
Are you guys?
Let's do some filler or something.
That's fine. This movie sucked.
I'll work on my tight 5.
I'm going to give this movie a 4.
Holy shit, it's worse than The Incredible Hulk.
Yes, it is. God, like the only thing that's good about this movie is the just the idea of the plot. Like not even the actual plot. Like the idea of an island that has a beach where a group of researchers is like forcing people to go basically, and they age rapidly for some kind of test. Like that is really interesting and could like spawn some cool stories, but not in this case. Not in this movie, not with these actors, or at least this director. Like this, the acting was terrible. The script wasn't great. The directing was just like lazy. Was it lazy? Just like spinning in circles and shit. Like thinking it was creepy or something. I don't know what the fuck. It was just bad. It's just bad. And like the more I think about the movie, the more I dislike it. We came out of the theater and we talked about it for a while, And I was like, it was okay. It was okay. And now I'm like sitting here thinking about it like, no, that movie was fucking dog shit. Dog shit apparently gets a 4. Russell?
So since we've already spoiled the good bit about the movie, which is, what's happening to them, don't go to theaters and watch this. Wait for it to come out. I think it's worth watching. Just because you never know if you're going to enjoy it, if you're going to have fun with it, if you're going to like it. We did not. I did not. We haven't got to Dave yet.
That's me. I'm Dave.
But I would have. I watched it for free because Shane's a nice guy. Bought my ticket.
You owe me $7.
I owe him $7.
Oh.
I would have. I would recommend if you're gonna watch it from the comfort of your home after it comes out to rent. Not for $20, but for $5.99, whatever the fucking price is.
Wait until it's like $3.99.
$2.99.
That's the only way I can recommend watching this movie.
$1, Bob.
But it's not. I didn't hate it so much that I wouldn't recommend watching it. But you're gonna have to be a particular type of person to like this movie.
Yeah.
I did not. I'm gonna rate it a 4. Also, it's not very good. I'm sure if we watched The Village, it'd get a 1.
Damn.
I feel like as much as you talk about The Village, we should watch The Village.
I didn't want to put it on the list because I didn't want to watch it again.
Fair enough. Sorry, buddy.
Will I watch it again? I mean, yeah, probably if I need to, but I don't really want to.
We're gonna strap you down like fucking Clockwork Orange style and make you watch it. Picks in your eye.
That sounds terrible.
And we're gonna drink
very Kubrick of you.
We're gonna drink weird milk.
Yep.
Ugh, gross milk.
But it's milk with drugs in it, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck this movie. I'm sorry, M. Night. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I don't get it or something. Like, I don't. Go ahead, Dave. I'm just going to groan for 2 minutes.
All right. Well, I'm still trying to figure out what that movie was with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando.
Missouri Breaks.
That's it. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, kind of the same as both these guys. I didn't hate it as much as Shane or you guys. It was a cool concept. I found myself kind of engaged. I didn't get bored. I got irritated.
Yeah.
But also, I look at movies a little different because I love bad movies. And there's parts to this where it took me out of like the seriousness that he wanted and into like, this is a bad movie. Like the part where he's screaming about his, we're never getting a divorce, blah, 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 blah. We're better than you. Like, I was just like, wow, it took me out of that scene. I didn't feel anything, but I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then like the part where mid-sized sedan and the one lady where like they mention like age and how they haven't like seemed to have aged at all.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
the one time people wish they were black.
Yeah, yes. that was funny. That took me. It didn't seem like his character.
No, not at all.
But it was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just some like random camp.
Yeah,
in it. Yeah.
So, but he wanted to make a good movie.
I think. I don't know.
I assume. But I did like the concept. Like I said, it was kind of cool. There was parts where I'm like, I like this a lot.
Right.
But I couldn't get over the acting, and like some of the acting just took me out of the scene. Just like it almost felt like M. Night was a robot and didn't know how people acted.
Yeah.
Like, let's just have this kid go, "Hi, what's your name and occupation?" to everyone. That'll be a plot hook later. But I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
So I liked it better than you guys,
but not a lot.
but not a lot. But I agree with Russell. Like, watch it. Maybe not go to the theaters.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to theaters with fun pals like I went to.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had a good time because I went with you guys. But, like, I wish we had seen, like, Candyman or something.
Or Free Guy.
Or Free Guy. That would have, like, been hilarious.
I would love to see both those movies with you guys. I also... So we went to the theaters, and like a theater across the street, we could have watched the Glenn Danzig movie that showed for one day. We could have watched that.
You know what I said? You have to be a particular type of person to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Dave, I think for some movies, you're that particular type of person.
I think you're trying to be insulting, but okay, I'll take it.
I don't mean it insultingly.
Yeah.
Just mean it like, if you want me to watch a movie, don't spin it to me. It's the newest Glenn Danzig movie.
I mean, that was more of a joke, but we should watch that because it looks hilarious. It's vampires in the Wild West.
A vampire western does sound interesting.
Yeah, it's called Death Rider in the House of Vampires. People want to check it out.
Yeah, if you guys like indie campy movies, that's probably right up your alley.
It's got my boy in it, Danny Trejo.
Yeah, Danny Trejo's
It's got Danny Trejo in it?
Yeah.
See, lead with that.
It's got Danny Trejo in it.
We
There's
could
a
have
couple
watched the
other
new
people
Danny
in it.
Trejo movie. I don't care if he's not a main character. Just tell me he's in it.
He's probably going to die in it because every movie he's in, he dies.
Dude, I will watch anything Danny
Machete?
Trejo is in.
He doesn't die in Machete.
Yeah,
Or Machete kills.
Yeah.
But like any other movie he's in, he dies.
Yeah. He's got that Sean Bean syndrome.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, I give it a 5.
Oh, I was going to say about the kid walking around and asking people what their name and occupation was. It felt like to me at the beginning of the movie, this is another reason I didn't like this movie, is because in inconsistent characterization. Partially because there's like 4 actors that play a couple of the characters. At the beginning of the movie, Trent is walking around, and the way Trent acts is almost like he is like super high functioning autistic.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And like halfway through the movie, he just turns into a regular guy. Like M. Night or whoever wrote the script just didn't know how kids acted, and just like was like, yeah, it's like this, like me. And then they turn into regular folks.
Yeah.
But I'm not a regular person. Like,
Yeah.
and then it's inconsistent characterization across a whole hour and 48-minute movie. Just fucking horrible.
From my understanding, which I didn't say earlier because I thought it would be in the trivia corner, and I didn't want to step on any toes, specifically Dave's toes.
Oh, you
'Cause
can
I do
step on
that
me anytime,
sometimes.
buddy.
And he goes, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, did you have trivia?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Oops.
But something that I thought, from my understanding, I have not read the graphic novel Sandcastles, but from the breakdown of something I read about Old, is that the book, so Sandcastles isn't about the people that we've seen in the movie, but Sandcastles is about who wrote the book in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
And like the previous experience of those people on the island.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that translates. I don't know if the graphic novel is good, but I thought that was interesting. I kind of hope that that's the way it was spun, because that would be a story coming off of a story instead of a direct adaptation of it.
That's cool. I like that kind of adaptation, because then it's like more like a sequel in a different medium.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, I want to use the name of your characters, but I'm going to change everything about it. Cool? Yeah, I just like making money. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of DQP Does. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and hit us up. draftyq@gmail.com. This week we went over Old. It was our final M. Night Shyamalan movie. And now we are going to move on to Greener Pastures with the 2 Marvel movies that have come out this year. Black Widow and Shang-Chi. Or Shang-Chi? I don't know. There was a weird fucking Instagram ad that said it was Shang-Chi. If it is, okay, I'm sorry. I've been saying Shang-Chi since I knew who this character was.
Yeah.
Whenever the first time I met him in a comic, I don't remember. I don't remember the first time I read anything about Shang-Chi.
I don't either.
It's been a while. Like I obviously didn't read original stuff, old stuff, and it wasn't like one of the characters I followed when I was a kid. But like, I mean, he's in a lot of the Avengers stuff from the early 2000s and shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing next. And then after that, we've got some Halloween movies that we're going to go through. So let's look forward to some MCU shit and some spoopy shit.
I'm so excited for both.
Yeah, I love spoopy. And I love the MCU. So we're going to have a much better time going forward, I hope, the next few weeks. But yeah, thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
How would you feel if a 50-year-old man called and said he was your 6-year-old nephew?
That's a good one. I was going to say, we were just playing. I got a little fat.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.